Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to bring you an update on Measure 114 in Oregon. That is the measure that would have banned, buying a gun without a special permit from your local law enforcement. They had to give you permission to buy guns, and it was good for 5 years. You couldn't have magazines over 10 rounds. They had different background checks now where police officials could just decide, you don't get to buy guns because I don't think like you. I think you're a jerk. I don't think you're a safe person. All kinds of just really heinous stuff was in this bill. A registry is in this bill, which we'll talk about later in a different video. Well, I wanted to bring you an update on it. Now, before I do, though, I want to answer a question that's been coming into me a lot in the live chat. People are asking me, where are the live chats at? Well, I've told everybody for a while now that the live chats are open to everybody. Anybody can come into the live chats. We have them every night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Monday and Wednesday when they're at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So as I don't court Never Enough Ammo's chats. So they're every night. Just come on in. They're open to everybody. I post links for them on my channel, etc. But once they are over, I put them as unlisted. Because there's a lot of crap goes down in the live chats. A lot of things said that I don't get to monitor. And I'm including things I say that I don't monitor. So I would rather those not be public because you're held to a different standard with public videos than you are unlisted videos. So as soon as a live chat is over, sometimes it's the next day, sometimes it's immediately after the chat, I make them unlisted. Now, I do post a link to a playlist of all the live chats over on my Patreon every couple of days. You just have to find it, and it has all the live chats in it. So if anybody's wondering where the live chats went, that's where they go. I put them on unlisted so that I don't get held accountable for a lot of the crap I say in the live chats. And with that being said, let's move on to Measure 114 here. Well, many of you know, I made a video the other day telling you that a federal judge had blocked parts of the law, the part that requires you to go to your local law enforcement and beg for a permit to buy a gun to exercise your Second Amendment rights. They put that part on hold because the state had done nothing to get it put in place yet. They hadn't provided any funding. They hadn't hired any people. They didn't create any infrastructure. They didn't even create a plan on how to do it. So a federal judge said, well, we'll give them 30 days extra to come up with that before we implement that part of the law, but she left everything else. The registry, the doing away with the provision that protected you from government slowballing your applications. All the other stuff she allowed to go through. They would have started today, the day after my birthday. Yesterday was my birthday. If you didn't wish me happy birthday, shame on you. But it was all going to go effect today. But another judge, I believe it was the same day, blocked everything. Now, I didn't really talk about that yet because I knew that the Attorney General in Oregon was agreeing with the 30-day extension on the background checks because they knew they had nothing in place, not even a plan. So they were okay with that. So I knew that was going to stay the way it was. But this judge that blocked all of it, saying it can't go into effect until it's settled in court because it is a gross violation probably of the Constitution. Not just the U.S. Constitution, but it also most likely violates Oregon's Constitution. And the lawmakers know that. He said, therefore, it can't go into effect until it's settled in court because it is so likely to be found unconstitutional. Well, I knew the AG was going to appeal that immediately and was going to run to the state Supreme Court. And I figured the state Supreme Court would probably say, yeah, we're going to block his ruling and we're just going to let it go the way it is right now on the other ruling. But that's not what happened. The Supreme Court said, nope, his ruling stands. It is completely blocked. And that did not make the AG happy. So they did get a court date for the 13th of this month. That's what, 5 days from now? So in 5 days, they will have a hearing in front of the judges, but the Supreme Court agreed with the lower court judge saying it probably is unconstitutional, therefore we're going to let it stand, but we'll let you have your day in court. Now, good luck to you or me if we ever needed a day in court, getting it within 5 days of us appealing something. But that's where it is right now. Right now, it is completely blocked. None of it has gone into effect in Oregon, and it's likely that it never will. Because, like I said, it's so grossly unconstitutional. And like I said, there's just a lot of bad parts of this. To me, one of my least favorite parts is the fact you have to go beg for permission from law enforcement to exercise your Second Amendment rights. And according to this new law, they can say, I just don't think you're a good enough person, and you won't be able to buy a gun. That's a gross violation of your constitutional rights. It's also creating a registry. Every person that goes to buy a gun, just to buy a gun, you have to be fingerprinted and put into the system so that they know exactly who you are. They have your fingerprints, they know what you're buying, etc. That's unconstitutional. It also bans standard capacity magazine, puts a real burden on gun shops because they can't sell 90% of the stuff that's on the market because it comes with a magazine of more than 10 rounds. So just all kinds of negative things in this bill. And I'm just scratching the surface. So, and here's the thing. This is not like an overwhelmingly popular bill. It only got 50.7% of the votes, and that's because they had high turnout in the major metropolitan areas. If they had had equal turnout in every county that they had as in like Multnomah County, well, then this would have never come close to passing if it was actually the will of the people. But like I said, Supreme Court says the injunction on this law is now standing. The people that have lawsuits filed against it have a right to have their day in court before it goes into effect and damages people by being unconstitutional. And not just by being unconstitutional, but causes damage to businesses, etc., for a law that should never have gone into effect. So for right now, it's blocked. The Attorney General will have his day in court. And if the court is honest, their whole argument is, we want this law. The people enacted this law by majority, which is stretching it, because it will save lives, it will prevent suicides and murders and all this other stuff, and there's empirical proof of that. Well, if the court calls them on that and asks for the proof, well, they're screwed, because there is no proof of that, because it's all a fucking lie. Period. There is no evidence that any of these laws do any of that stuff. In fact, there is the opposite evidence. So when they get their day in court on the 13th, hopefully they'll fail and it'll stay blocked until the lawsuits that are filed by, the SAF and state and some other organ groups, OFF, etc. Hopefully it'll stay blocked until they have their day in court and it's declared unconstitutional and it'll never go into effect at all, which is what I said is likely to happen. Remember I said beginning when this was being voted on, I said it's going to pass, but it's not going to stand. That's kind of where we're at right now. It's passed, but so far it ain't standing. And here's the thing, even in 30 days, they're not going to have a system in place for this permit system because right now they're looking at having to spend a lot of money, hire a lot of people, train, create an infrastructure for something that's probably going to be declared unconstitutional. Do you think they're really going to do that? No, they're not. They're dragging their feet on it because they know any money they spend on this is going to be wasted. What are they going to do? Hire an additional 30 people per county to do this, and then the day it gets declared unconstitutional, go, oh, you're all fired? No. So they put themselves in a bad situation here with their bad laws, which, believe me, they all supported this. The Democrats in Oregon and some of the Republicans supported this, mostly the Democrats, though. And they got what they wanted, and now it's biting them in the ass, and I'm glad to see it, because all they're doing when they do this type of unconstitutional bullshit to try to strip us from our rights is they put another nail in the coffin of their own anti-gun agendas. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. Before I go, I want to remind everyone, if you want to support this channel and the things it does, Pets and Vets, Toy Guns for Tots, TYM Triple P, all the things we try to do, Handguns for Heroes, etc., which is hopefully coming back soon. The best way you can support the channel, which people are asking me all the time, what's the best way to support the channel, is go over on to Patreon, become a patron. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you could spare easily and not notice it's gone, go over and do it. You'll have access to the live chats that way, and you're supporting the channel and all the things we do that I think most people agree with. Whether you like me or not, I think most of you can agree with the things we do as a group, the things the Yankee Marshall Posse does, which I'm a member of and a lot of you are a member of. The things we do are good things, so if you want to support those, go over, become a patron. And with that being said, I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for coming. I hope to see you again tomorrow, or maybe at the live chat tonight. But either way, until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I do see you again.